Welcome to Spiraling, the podcast where guests share the problems, insecurities, and festering little brain worms that they just can't get out of their heads. I'm Zara Gladman. I'm not a therapist, but people like to tell me their problems, and I like to record them for content. Together, we'll try to get to the bottom of what's really going on, and with any luck, stop spiraling. Let's go.
I'm spiraling. There's a few things on my mind and I'm spiraling. So please help me unwind. I know that you're not qualified as a therapist, but I am spiraling.
Hello. Welcome to episode 3 of Spiraling. As I record this, it is Saturday the 8th of August, but this will go out on Tuesday. So as you're listening to this, I'm probably getting ready for my Fringe show, which is tomorrow. Did I mention that? It's at the Cabaret Voltaire. And I assume you can probably still get tickets. We might have sold it out, who knows? Check it out. Thank you so much to everyone who came back for episode 2. Special welcome if you are listening to episode 3, having listened to the previous 2 episodes. I've had loads of really, really nice comments, and I appreciate that. And it would be so appreciated if you are enjoying this to leave us a rating or a review on Apple or Spotify or all these other platforms, because apparently that's how podcasts grow and are discovered by other listeners. So if you can spare a couple minutes to do that, that would be amazing. What have I been up to, I hear you ask? Well, I've finished filming on that TV series, at least the main block of filming's done. This afternoon, I was at a comedy laughternoon in Blackfriars with a bake sale. So I brought along some chocolate Guinness cake, which is probably my favourite cake. I was quite pleased with them. But the afternoon was in aid of Breast Cancer Now, and it came about because the brilliant Scottish comedian Kathleen Hughes was diagnosed with breast cancer this year, and she is going through treatment at the moment. So we're sending her all the good vibes. Such a tough thing. But being Kathleen, she's just such a powerhouse. And this show this afternoon, this charity show, she was there. She got up on stage for the first time since April, she said. And it was great to see her. And it was a lovely afternoon. So, episode 3. This is a good one. This is a conversation I recorded in late June 2026 with Laura Ferguson, the producer. I've known Laura a year or 2, perhaps. We recorded the conversation not long after both attending the Royal Television Awards, humble brag, which was great fun. Laura is such a warm and encouraging and thoughtful person, and I really enjoyed our conversation. For the first time on this podcast, I'm actually going to include a legal disclaimer, and that is, this episode contains discussions of allegations that have been made against Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson denied any wrongdoing. He was acquitted of criminal charges that were brought against him. So the views that myself and my guest are expressing in this conversation are our personal opinions and interpretations about those allegations. So any discussion about certain events should be prefaced with the word allegedly. Please keep that in mind. In 1994, Michael Jackson agreed to pay a settlement of around $23 million in a civil lawsuit filed by 13-year-old Jordan Chandler. And in 2020, Michael Jackson's estate agreed to a $16.5 million settlement with 5 accusers who alleged he sexually abused them. Michael Jackson died on the 25th of June 2009 at the age of 50 in Los Angeles. Strangely enough, Laura and I recorded this episode just a few days after the anniversary of his death, and I will leave it up to you to make your own mind up. So grab a cup of tea and let's spiral. Hello, Laura. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello, Zara. Thank you for having me.
You're one of the first people I told about this podcast idea, and I knew you'd be a great guest because you immediately launched into a problem that you had, which you're not going to talk about today.
No, I'm not going to talk about it. I think I don't know whether to be flattered or offended that I'm the kind of person that has a lot of annoyances.
I just think you're very articulate and entertaining, so that's why.
Thank you. I'll take that.
What have you been up to? You've just wrapped on something exciting, have you not?
I have. I've just wrapped on Meantime, which is the 6-part adaptation of Frankie Boyle's incredible book for Sky, starring the amazing James McAvoy and a host of super talented cast. It's been a joy, an absolute joy to work on. I was in floods of tears on Friday.
Oh.
It was embarrassing.
Was there a big rap party?
There was a great rap party. I mean, low key, because it wasn't a big showbiz thing. It was just a bunch of colleagues that all got on with each other really well, saying goodbye to each other, because a lot of the crew had come up from London. So we we'd done some filming in London as well. So they'd been up and embraced Glasgow in like the most wholesome way. So we were saying goodbye to them as well. So that was quite emotional.
That does sound emotional. And you had like some quite challenging filming conditions, did you not? In this crazy torrential rain. We
started with SPF. I was wearing shorts, sandals. We were worried about people burning. Then it was like, I kid you not, I had on my winter big puffer coat. I had a woolen jumper. I had gloves. I had little, I don't know if you've ever seen them before. They're little packs of heated things that you put in your hands and your feet. I had them because we're outside for sort of 10 hours. We were filming nights as well, and it was freezing. And then we bookended it with SPF again and monsoon weather. I mean, on Friday. So
no wonder you're all besties and you've like trauma bonded, been in the trenches.
In the trenches. Well, when the London cast and crew were coming up, they were saying, "Oh, you know, what should we bring with us, wardrobe wise?" And the answer was everything. Prepare for everything.
Circling back. So let's circle back. I think I first met you at the BBC Comedy Festival whenever it was in Glasgow, and you are a comedy producer predominantly, or a bit of drama as well?
I what's the word?
Dabble?
No, straddle.
You straddle.
I straddle both worlds. I straddle between comedy, scripted comedy and drama. And I've been really, really lucky. Last year, I produced 2 episodes of Summer Water for Channel 4. I produced Mrs. Brown's Boys for BBC Studios. And that's a studio sitcom, which is a joy and silly and panto-like and lovely cast and crew. So yeah, it's very, very varied, the stuff I do.
And what led you into this world in the first place?
Oh, I kind of fell into it. I've been a producer for about 10 years now. And prior to going into scripted, I was in branded and commercial content. And one of my editors is a very talented writer who had a comedy short commissioned for BBC and needed a producer and a production company. So we already had a relationship. So that was kind of what led me into it. And then that opened a door that it's not that I never would have loved to have done this job. I just could never have, I didn't see a way in. I didn't know anyone in the world. It seemed very closed off. And then all of a sudden the door was ajar to me and I got to meet some incredible people who have been true mentors and given me a seat at the table. And here I am.
I mean, one of the reasons I was excited when you did introduce yourself at that festival was, first of all, obviously you're a fun and interesting person, but also you're a woman producer in comedy, which there's so few that I've come across.
Yeah, it's really tough. And all of the productions, by and large, that I've worked on have been exec'd by men, written by men, commissioned by men. So I am very much a woman in the creative end of a man's world. Conversely, though, on the production side, it's almost exclusively women. So line producers, production coordinators, production managers. Most of these people seem to be women because we're great organisers.
Oh, yeah.
But on the...
I've seen your outfit planning for holidays. And I'm obsessed with it. The level of organisation and planning, I've never seen anything like it.
But I have been put in that box in the past by men that I've worked with who have absolutely put me in the organiser, not creative box. And it was when I met the incredible John Rolfe, who's a comedy legend, who really, he believed in that side of me when I didn't even see it for myself. So I've been very, very lucky to have been mentored and empowered by him And now I'm starting to get on board with what he already saw 3-4 years ago. So that's nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
in a good place now.
There are really some really, really great men in the industry. And I have been lucky to be supported by some of them. It's been great.
This podcast is about frustrations and overthinking and spiraling. Would you describe yourself as a worrier?
Okay, so it's a tricky one because I wouldn't identify as a worrier or someone who has anxiety. However, sometimes things just get right under my skin. And when they get under my skin, it is like an earworm in my head. I can't shake it off. I can't shake it off. I'm quite a practical person. And so the things that really get under my skin the most are the things that, generally speaking, I don't have any control over. They are the ones. Other stuff I can be practical about. When it's out with my control, I cannot shake it off. It is. And the thing that annoys me most, and this isn't one of the things we're going to talk about today, but genuinely the thing that bugs me the most is that when I'm annoyed that I'm annoyed.
Okay, meta.
So annoyed. And that's really annoying.
When stuff like this happens, do you keep it to yourself or do you look for people to share it with?
I mean, anyone that'll listen. I can. It's like obsessive compulsive. It's like I can get quite fixated on a thing. And my poor partner, Mike, he has to listen to it again and again and again. All roads will lead back to that thing.
Okay.
And he's just brilliant though. He's brilliant. He doesn't tell me to shut up. So that's dead nice.
That's
really,
good.
That's lovely.
Yeah,
he's very supportive. He's
yeah.
very supportive, and he never even gets sort of impatient with me. Which, to be honest, I'm not as nice a person as he is. I definitely would get impatient with him if he was repeating himself as much as I do.
How long does it take you to get over something if it's annoying you then? So you're saying like you can't get it out of your head. What are your methods for trying to exhume your frustration? Or is it just telling as many people as possible until it's out your system?
Probably telling as many people until it's just, yeah. It's like, do you know, I actually had a note in my phone at the start of the year entitled Things I Need to Resolve.
Wow.
And it was categorised. Because there was quite a lot at that point.
Colour-coded? Or
it wasn't colour-coded, no. Can you colour-code notes, actually?
I feel like you can, but I haven't really fully gone into that function.
Oh, I'm going to try that later.
Yeah.
Imagine I can colour-code.
I mean,
red for...
Why stop there? Like, get your pivot tables on the go and get a spreadsheet.
I love a spreadsheet. I have like a spreadsheet just for going on holiday.
You're the Google Doc person in the relationship.
Yes.
And your partner, does he just go along with it?
Yes. He loves that side of me. So my partner's an osteopath, so what he brings to the table are free massages.
Oh, great.
And what I bring to the table are organising our lives.
Well, I mean, this must be what makes you a good producer. You know, if this is part of your personality, being super organised, you need to be a producer, do you not? To be a good producer.
So. I think so. Yeah, I mean, it is. It's definitely... It's being a producer. So, I mean, probably there'll be people who will be listening.
What is a producer, actually?
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Explain that.
There'll be people who'll be listening who'll be like, I see it on credits and I don't know what these people do. And that's completely valid. But the producer tends to deal with the creative side of film and television making, but the practical side of that creative side. So making sure that the scripts are in as good a place as possible to allow the creative team to do their job, the director and the cast. They'll work with the commissioning body and the writers to help facilitate that. And then they'll be ultimately the one responsible on set for everyone's well-being and for the production as a whole. So it can be quite a big job, depending on the scale of the production and the number of cast and crew that you've got. And they can deal with things like casting. Depending on the size of the production, you might have a line producer. So the line producer tends to deal with more things like contracts, budgets, that side of producing.
I wondered what that meant. Line producer. I've seen
So
that
it's
before.
below the line. So above the line is generally the creative people involved in the project. So the cast, the writers, the executive producers, the director. Below the line is all of your crew, your facilities, your kit hire, like all
Logistical
of that,
stuff.
the logistical stuff.
Yeah. Okay. What do you like about being a producer then?
I love the people side of it. So a large part of producing is people management and relationship building, building trust with people, solving problems, sometimes it's difficult people, sometimes it's difficult problems, and you're kind of just really trying to help people get what they need to do their job.
Okay. So I've learned a little bit about you and what you do. I think it's time to get down to your spiral. So will you share with me what is on your mind?
So something that it's not just a new thing. This is just like a constant thing that annoys me, but it's particularly topical just now in light of cinematic releases and streaming releases. I get really annoyed when I listen to the radio or I'm out in public in a shop or a nightclub, or when am I ever in a nightclub? A bar?
You're at a rap party?
A rap party.
Yeah.
And they play Michael Jackson music.
Okay.
This is why I asked if you wanted the question in advance.
No, I'm listening. I'm listening.
So, I mean, this is probably quite a contentious one, but I think it is part of a wider conversation about separating the art from the artist.
It's a great question.
And I don't think I can. I can't. Not in that case, and in others, I cannot separate the art from the artist.
What was it that, I think for me it was watching the Neverland documentary when it really hit.
Are you talking about the Bashir one back in the...
Not the Bashir one. There was one more recently where they spoke to the survivors, basically, of everything that went on. I can't remember when that came out, a good number of years ago now. But for you, does it go back to the Bashir documentary?
Yeah, I remember the trial in the... Was it the early noughties or the 90s? I can't quite remember when, but I remember it. There's a new Netflix documentary that's out. It's the 3-parter, and it really kind of breaks down what led to the trial. And I'd forgotten an awful lot about it because it was a while ago and we didn't have social media at that point.
No.
It was a completely different world that we lived in. And I'd forgotten the mass hysteria outside the courthouse, I should say. I'd forgotten him jumping on the cars and baiting all of these people.
Yeah.
There'd been so much that I'd forgotten about. I'd forgotten about the Bashir documentary, and it showed clips of it.
It's quite crazy to look back on.
It is very crazy. I guess we have to be quite careful about what we say because obviously it's all allegations with some hefty payoffs to people. But I suppose it's that, when the doubt is cast, for me, I just think we need to forget that man ever existed and we can't celebrate him. And that's what you're doing when you're putting his music on in a bar or a restaurant or a nightclub and people are dancing to it. We're celebrating this person.
Were you a fan before all of this happened then? Did you own albums or...
I don't think I could call myself a fan, although weirdly, the first concert I ever went to was a Michael Jackson concert.
Seriously?
I want to say it was Glasgow Green.
Wow.
I think it was. It would have been like the early 90s, I think.
Mm-hmm. Is that sort of bad era?
I want to say Dangerous.
The album title's also...
Did I just make that up?
No,
Did I just make one up called Dangerous?
No, that's ringing a bell. I'm not like a super fan, so I don't know
me
the
neither.
album titles. I remember Thriller and Bad.
Thriller, Bad and Dangerous? Surely not.
Yeah. I remember being a child, my mum was a big fan and had the Bad album. That's my first sort of memory of listening to him because she was really into him. And then I suppose Jackson 5 and then later on when I was a teenager. I think hearing him on nights out and stuff. And
Undeniable banger, Zara.
that's the trouble.
Undeniable.
Have you seen Rush Hour, the film?
I don't think is that Jackie Chan?
Yeah.
No, I don't think I've ever seen that.
There's a scene in Rush Hour where they are doing Michael Jackson karaoke, and it's kind of amazing. That's another sort of core memory for me. But separating what we know now from that music, it's surprising actually how much you do hear Michael Jackson out and about in pubs, at parties and so on. Here's a question then. Do you think the Jackson 5 is permissible because he was a child himself at that point?
No, I think I can live with the Jackson 5 because, like you say, he was a child. It's not just him. It's him and 4 other people. and I can absolutely acknowledge that Michael Jackson's upbringing was beyond abnormal. I can't imagine what he might have seen or experienced as a young boy in that industry. And I can acknowledge all of that. But yeah, when young people make allegations, I listen.
Yeah.
I believe victims. That's my default in a situation always. Who's got the most to gain or lose from this situation? And, a young boy speaking out against a giant human being with power and influence and money behind him. Like, the naysayers will say it's because they were out for money. I don't know.
It's the scale of the allegations, isn't it? And the nature of it is really kind of hard to get away from. Yeah. I mean, I wonder where the line is then for you, because I'm trying to think of other artists. So taking an example for myself, for example, I am a huge Beatles fan, right? But we all know that John Lennon beat his wife. And he did admit that. And I think there's been a lot of discussion around that since then. But I can't give up the Beatles. There's also been stuff said about other completely beloved artists, David Bowie, probably a lot of bands from that period actually in the 60s and the 70s. Morrissey these days. Some people who love the Smiths struggle with his politics. So I wonder, where the line is. Do you have a sense of where that is for you?
I think it's the nature of the victims.
Right.
In Michael Jackson's case, the alleged victims.
Yes.
Children. I mean, that's the line. That's always got to be the line for me, I think. And that's not to say that abusing women or other adults is okay, because it's absolutely not. But yeah, I think it's the children aspect of it that makes it so distasteful. Yeah.
I'm just trying to think about how we would deal with this problem.
Oh, God.
So I think, if Michael Jackson wasn't an incredible musician, nobody would care about this and he wouldn't be played. The issue is those are some real bangers, right?
Yeah.
What if we kept those songs but got other artists to record them?
That's interesting. Because here's the thing, he's not alive anymore.
No,
it's his estate that benefits from any proceeds from royalties or whatever, and he has 2 biological children allegedly. So
Blanket, is that one of them?
Blanket and Paris.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know where Blanket is, but Paris has got a profile. She's got a profile. She's out in the world.
Wow,
I've seen coverage of her. So yeah, I mean, these are 2 people who are going to be the beneficiaries. So that's probably where it's so tricky, because in any creative industry, if you've got someone who's either been proven bad or allegedly bad, no pun intended, it's not just about them. It's, whatever you're making, it's a team sport.
Yeah.
Even if it's one person that's fronting it, there's lots of people behind the scenes that are employed and part of that process. And so it's so tricky,
especially, I mean, that's music, but in film as well.
Film and TV.
Woody Allen films, or, you know, I know there's been similar conversations about certain actors and people boycotting films because of an actor being in it. And it's really tricky because, as you said, I mean, we've just been talking about, you know, working as a producer. There's so many different creative people involved in coming together to make that. So it feels really difficult when something is cancelled because of one person's actions. So it's not, this is definitely a good podcast fodder. It's not something that you could tweet a solution to. No. And it's like, I was talking about film and I was thinking about The Usual Suspects, which is just like an incredible film. And I'd thought about watching it again recently, and then I thought, oh, can I? I don't know if I want to. But so many people made that film. Behind, off camera, on camera. There's an incredible roster of talent involved with that film. And so why should we put it to bed just because of allegations against one person? And it's, again, not all men, but usually a man. Well, right? Almost always a man. And what I think is unfair is when women are forced to pay for the actions of one man, and it feels like women are held to a higher standard in that way. You know, if a woman is associated with a man who's done something terrible, it's not often the attacks aren't on the man, it's on the women. Yeah, I think there's something going on there that whereas with men it doesn't seem to be as vicious, you know. Well, I mean, to go slightly off topic but still on topic, the obvious case of that just now is Nicola Sturgeon and Peter Murrell. Yeah. If the now I'm not commenting on it, honestly. I've got no idea. I don't know what she knew, what she didn't know, what their marriage was like. Who am I to make any kind of comment on it? But what I do know is that if the genders were the other way around and it was her, we wouldn't be talking about Peter Murrell at all. No, I agree. He would still have his status and his position and his respect, and it would be poor him, she's manipulated him. Yeah, I think you're probably right on that one. There's just a general lack of accountability for all of these situations, isn't there, when it comes to men that have committed these things and the repercussions for them. I mean, Michael Jackson ultimately didn't face any real, well, again, accountability for the allegations that were made, but no, I mean, I can't imagine. He definitely latterly didn't strike me as somebody that was mentally well. No. And, you know, the court case and what he went through with that is a punishment of some sort. He's obviously fiscally paid for it by paying off some of the alleged victims. And then you feel for the family and the people around him, and it's just a dreadful situation. But at my 50th in 4 years' time, there will be no Michael Jackson buyers. And so coming back to this covers idea then. Yes. What if I was to cover Thriller? Okay, what if I... Would you do a dance? If you want me to. It's your birthday. But what the choreography, I mean... Oh, yeah. You know, was that him? Was that somebody else? Although I think I saw a thing recently where he actually sort of was heavily influenced / maybe stole a lot of the kind of moonwalk idea from another artist from some really obscure 70s film. It popped up for me on social media. I'll need to dig it out. It's just this video of this guy in a desert with a little child doing a weird moonwalk, and apparently he was a big fan of this film. So, I mean, nothing's original, is it? No, it's not. All right, maybe not Thriller, because that's so iconically Jackson. What about... There's a cover going around on TikTok, and I cannot obviously remember what one it is just now, but it's quite lovely. It's a female that's singing it. It's a bit acoustic. It's quite nice. Maybe I should get on board with that. Like Man in the Mirror or something. It is. Is it that? It's Man in the Mirror. It is, and it's lovely. So you can do that at my 50th. I'd be allowed to do that. You could do that at my 50th. Man in the Mirror was actually written by not Michael Jackson. It was someone called Glenn Ballard and Cedar Garrett. So I think that would be fine. One of my favourites, actually thinking about it, is again, going back to me being a big Beatles fan, Paul McCartney did a duet with Michael Jackson on a song called Say, Say, Say. They're like dressed as cowboys in a desert, and it's such a good, it's sort of quite 80s. It goes, say, say, say. I mean, I'm covering it now, but that's Paul McCartney's bit, so it's okay. What you want, but don't leave me in your direction. Do you know it?
No.
And then the Michael Jackson bit is like, never know, never know, 'cause I love you, baby. Is that familiar? I think it might have been.
That sounds familiar.
I think it might have been sampled in something more recent than when it came out.
No, I think it's the way that you.
Oh, it was just a very convincing.
It was so convincing.
Okay. I actually did that with a friend on Salt Coast Beach once in a karaoke competition. We didn't win. But
that's because the karaoke host was aligned with my views.
Yeah, they're on board with you.
You were penalised.
Yeah. So yeah, cover versions on the fence then.
On the fence, and also who profits. The profiting thing is just so... Because I just don't like to think about that catalogue making any money. Even though I know that he's dead and it's not going directly to him, there's just something so unsavoury about any of that music making money.
It is interesting how... I mean, there's been a lot of Michael Jackson stuff in the media recently. I've seen a lot of stuff pop up on Instagram, and you go into the comments and I'm always surprised by how much support there still is. I think particularly from Americans.
Yeah. And I think what's frustrating with Michael Jackson is that we'll never know now. No. Because wouldn't it have been an amazing person to actually unpack, to really get a sense of what he experienced, what he saw as a young boy through the industry, like what... I've watched the Bashir documentary, is quite insightful, but it's very two-dimensional. He's clearly... He doesn't function like me, anyway, or anyone else that I know. It's... but I don't know what... I don't feel like I'd unpack that much about him, other than just his eccentricities as a human being, like his spending habits and his...
Oh yeah, the spending habits where he's just like, I'll have that. He like buys everything in the shop.
I'd forgotten all about that. He was like, I'll take that 50 grand chandelier. Oh, I'll have two. And he just buys everything in the shop. And then, you know, the fear... I mean, nowadays you look at a grown man who lives in this kind of isolated estate and has a fairground, specifically so that children can come and visit.
Yeah. Why did we think that?
I guess because he was a bit childlike himself. I think charitably, you could put it down to the fact that he didn't have much of a childhood himself. You know, he was a moneymaker because he was the star. He was the Jackson 5. He was the star. And so, very early on, I'm sure his parents and management team realised that they could capitalise on him and make money from him. And so I think the generous way to look at that situation is he's innocent. He's just a grown-up man who's craving innocence and youth that he never ever had.
Looking back on that time when, as you say, you know, the Bashir interview at that time, you know, he had Neverland. It was a bizarre thing, but weirdly the public seemed to accept it. We're looking back from this point in history, and clearly that is insane.
That's insane. So
I wonder in another 50 years if that generation will look back on this time when people are still defending him and think this is absolutely wild. I just wonder if this is a case of it's going to take some time, but generation after generation are going to look back and see it for what it was.
But then it was a different time back then. This was a time as well when people believed religious figures over their own children. You know, people in a position, adults in a position of power and trust were believed more than children were. And obviously we've come a long, long way now. Children have way more rights than they ever had. They, you know, we care about what they want, what they need, not what we think is always best for them. And yeah, it's just a different world that we live in now. And we're less swayed by those powerful, influential figures now, I think. I hope. I mean, I say that, but I come from the place, I've got a 14-year-old son. So I come from this very specific place where, as if I would ever let him go and spend the night at a strange man's house. It wouldn't
Yeah.
matter if he had a fair ground and how much money and power and influence and fame he had. There's no way I would let that happen.
No.
So it's mad. And I like to believe that there's more people like me now than there were 30 years ago.
What are we meant to do with art that is created by people like this? What do we do with it? Do we ignore it? We can't destroy it, can we?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like you can just sort of pack it up in a little box and archive it and say that was a thing that happened then, that was of its time, we've moved on. It's not like people aren't creating new art right now.
Trying to think if there's any other examples. I mean, looking back at the depths of history, there's probably all kind of shitbags who've made art that we still revere and celebrate.
Yeah. Woody Allen's an interesting one.
Still with us.
And I choose not to watch his films.
Yeah.
For allegations that have been spoken about with him. That's my choice. But there are lots and lots of people that love Woody Allen, that support him, that still appear in his films, that want to work with him, you know? So
I wonder if there's a way of consuming the art without the artist continuing to benefit. If I've got a Woody Allen DVD and I pop it on the telly, it's not going to do anything, is it?
No, I guess not. You would have to live with yourself, though.
I would have to live myself watching it, knowing.
This is going to put you right in the mood to go and listen to the greatest hits of Michael Jackson tonight.
Yeah.
You're going to be bopping about the flat with your headphones on, because then no one will know. Don't do it on Spotify, though, because then you'll add to the streaming figures.
The estate, Okay, so we're gonna not destroy the art. You think?
Archive the art.
We're gonna archive it, and will the archive? Where will the archive sit? Will it be couched in some background information about the artist? So before you go in, you have that knowledge.
I mean, this is the thing. It's not like these people lived. And they did things, and they had lives, and they had families, and they're part of history for the good and the bad.
Yeah.
So I don't think we can deny that they were ever with us. I just think that we have to acknowledge the good and the bad and see them as a 4-dimensional person complete with flaws. Did you ever see that episode of Black Mirror? And it's the museum in the middle of the desert somewhere, and it's is it like evidence from different murders, like serial killer and bad murders, and it's this weird, like really dark museum with these weird souvenirs of horrible crimes.
No,
have you not seen that one?
No,
it's really good. I can't remember what it's called. Maybe that's what we need to have. We just have a big museum in the desert that's got a Michael Jackson room, you know, and it's I don't know. But then it feels celebrated in some way.
I know, it's like sort of creating dark tourism in a way.
I think the thing that really bugs me is just how revered he is by so many people. That's probably what bugs me. See if it was just that he allegedly did these things and his music still existed and everyone was like, oh man, he was a bastard. Like, we hate him. But he made some bangers. I could maybe reconcile that a little bit, because at least everybody could see what I see.
It's the people that completely deny that he's done any wrongdoing.
Completely deny that he's done it. That, see if you have a fallout with a pal, but people don't ever see your side and they still think that person's brilliant, even though that person has done dreadful things to you. It's like that.
Yeah, it's just refusing to see.
It's irritating. And okay, it's not, maybe it's worse than that, because we're talking about actual potential criminal acts here. But yeah, it's the frustration that you see something that other people don't see.
I get it. I totally get it. What is within our control here? So we've got a community of people, potentially a minority of people. I don't know. I can't tell. They might all be in the US. I feel like it's not the same culture over here, who refuse to acknowledge. So to preserve your peace, what are we going to do? One practical thing you can do is to block these people when they pop up for you on social media, but that's not dealing with the problem directly. You could get into big arguments. Do you ever do that on the internet?
No, I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
People on the internet can be quite dreadful.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't think it's worth the energy.
Healthy. It's not worth the energy. And they just, I find that a lot of people, not necessarily to me, but I'm on the internet. I see discourse, I see opinions, I read them, and people are so harsh. They're so nasty. So I dread to think what the Jackson lovers are going to say about this podcast.
Yeah, so I don't think that's the route we're going to go down. I think blocking them would be one option. I think another thing to think about is, as you said, this is one guy, one artist.
Yeah.
Undeniably, he had a lot of musical talent, but there are so many other musicians who are perhaps less visible or less platformed than him. So maybe we could look elsewhere and try and give visibility to other adjacent, but not him, and kind of bring them up. You've stated your position when it comes to your birthday, so we're not going to have him on the playlist. I
probably won't go to a Michael Jackson tribute night.
No,
that's something I can control. Is there not? There's the Thriller musical.
There's a musical?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is.
So does that directly impact his estate? It will do.
Must do.
Yeah.
Must do. Probably won't go and see that. I'm not going to go and watch Michael, the movie.
No, who is though? I've heard it's terrible.
People are. They're getting dressed up to go and do it. They're bopping. So, won't go and see that. I will, however, actively watch any documentaries.
Yes.
Because,
There's a good podcast series about him, actually, that a friend recommended that I started listening to that goes quite deep into his life and then later the allegations. I'll send you a link to that.
Yeah, because I'm genuinely, I think he's a really complex person that led a very unusual life. And it helps, I'm the kind of person, if I can at least get a sense of what made someone tick, if they did do these dreadful things, at least if I can get a sense, if I can humanise them a little bit so they're not a total monster. I think I know there are monsters out there who do things because they just can and they will and they like power, whatever. There are bad people amongst us that are just motivated by badness. But I prefer to believe that at their core people are human and sometimes they're just corrupted. I'm open to that being the case of Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I think when people commit these terrible acts, I don't know, I think it could be helpful to try and understand where that came from, because we don't want that to happen again, and what systems and people enabled that behaviour. So, a positive going forward is to try and challenge bad behaviour, to think critically if you're in the creative industry. And I think that the lack of transparency and the number of people that must have enabled him, he was one man, but he must have had people that allowed this to happen.
And he did, at his trial, people who worked for him spoke out against him.
Yeah.
At his trial. But by that point, it was going to trial.
Why did
that
it
was
take
after
that
the
long?
Bashir documentary, when there was a huge light shed on this weirdness, but for how long was it enabled?
And I think what we're doing right now, I think talking about it, it might not be something that people have thought about. You could also give people the benefit of the doubt that they haven't seen all the documentaries. I mean, at this point, you would think maybe people are a wee bit more clued up. But, I think sometimes it might not cross their minds. So even just continue to talk about it.
And they just forget, the trial, and he died quite a long time ago now. I don't know how long he's been dead, but must be 15 years at least or something. So
there might even be younger generations that don't know
the lore. They don't know the lore.
Yeah.
And I want to live in a world where when people do bad things, allegedly, they're compelled to do those bad things because of the way that they've been shaped as humans, rather than that we just walk amongst evil, bad people. So maybe I'll continue to try and understand Michael Jackson, even if I don't listen to his music.
That seems like a good practical step that is within your control.
It's within my control.
A lot of material out there that you can take a deep dive into.
And you know what else? There's loads of other really good music out there.
There is.
It's not like he's the only artist in the whole world. There's some really good music out there.
And not all of them are accused of some extremely terrible things yet. So,
no.
How do you feel about your spiral at this point?
I feel okay. I feel better.
Okay.
I feel like you've understood.
Yeah, I totally hear you, and it's a good topic.
A problem shared is a problem for somebody else to solve. Help me.
So, this is the bit where you get to be the agony aunt.
Oh gosh, okay.
Do people tell you their problems, usually?
Sometimes.
Okay. I feel like you'd be a good listener.
I'm quite pragmatic with my advice, so
okay.
I think if you want a friend that just sort of nods along and goes, yeah, oh, that sounds like that was really hard. I'm not the one for that.
You're going to be honest.
I'll tell them what to do.
Okay. So the problem that I'm going to play to you was presented to me by Martin Clark, who is a filmmaker, and he was a previous guest. So here we go. This is Martin's little problem.
My gripe, again, I suppose is something a little bit to do with myself, but it's also something that's quite prevalent, is like, how do you stop yourself complaining about how expensive everything is? Because I can't help it. I can't help myself. You know, you're in a pub and somebody says, yeah, I'll have a pint of that, and somebody sits it down and it's like £7.50. You're like, what? I mean, the thing is they're not getting paid that much. You know, the bar person, the person working in the shop and everything. And like, I just find myself, I can't help vocalising it. And I don't know if that's something to do with getting older. That'll be, you know, like a little bit of cake and a coffee. That'll be £11, please. What? I just can't help it. So how do you stop doing that?
Okay, so
oh my God,
that's Martin's problem. How does he stop vocalising?
Oh my God, I'm probably the worst person to, because like,
I love it when that happens.
Because I can ghetto math the shit out of any purchase that I want to make. Okay, so my practical advice would be to ghetto math. And he started to do it because he talked about how much the bar staff get paid. So the rates, I mean, if you look at the West End of Glasgow, for example, the rates that these cafes and bars must pay is just through the roof. Plus the increased cost of electricity, water, all these things. And then the knock-on effect of when they buy from their supplier, all of their rates and everything have gone up as well. So it's just a constant cycle of everything. So probably the first way to reconcile it is that these places are probably not making any more money because of the increased amounts of money. That's what I would suggest. And especially see if there's real butter in that cake. We're not just talking marge.
Oh, yeah.
Cost of butter.
Lurpak.
Or,
what's that posh French one?
Is it a gold wrapper?
Yes, a gold shiny wrapper. Sometimes it's unsalted. Anyway, sidetracked.
Also, I think how I ghetto math a purchase like going for a really nice cake and a coffee is that when everything is costing so much money now, it's a kind of accessible luxury to have. So whereby you might not be spending as much money on like a big extravagant meal out anymore, but you can afford a coffee and a cake. It's the more affordable way to eat out with your friends without going to a restaurant.
That's true.
And memories, you know, you can't put a price on them.
Why do you think Martin is vocalising it? Do you think it's coming from a place of guilt for spending that much money?
It could be. I mean, it could be genuinely because the cost of everything has
because
gone
it's
up.
a joke.
I mean, it has. Everything has gone up massively. And these are not things we need to have. You don't need to, you know, spend £6 on a coffee or get an artisanal bun. Like, we don't need these things. We choose them. And so there's maybe a bit of guilt about that as well. I mean, for me, I think as long as you can afford it, as long as it's not going to send you into debt and you can ghetto math it and justify it.
Yeah.
Then
tell me more about girl math.
Oh gosh, I need a scenario for it. But here's a ghetto math. I had a great ghetto math today. I took 3 things back to Sainsbury's and then I bought like another dozen things, and it only cost me £5 extra. So therefore, everything cost £5 that I bought today.
So sorry, you were returning.
I was returning things. I was returning things.
Okay.
Then I bought things, and I only had to pay £5 for all of those things.
I get it.
Therefore, all of those things cost me £5.
I totally get that.
Yeah.
Another girl math thing is when you go on holiday and you when I go on holiday, I top up my Monzo because it's free to use abroad.
Yes.
If I've finished my holiday and I've still got some money left on my Monzo, that's free money.
It's free money.
It doesn't come back into my main bank account that I can just do whatever. See, if I'm back home, duty free.
Yeah.
So it's about, we just need to train Martin in the art of girl math.
The art of girl math. So okay, first, so here's a girl math. Martin, your friend wants to meet you for a bite to eat now. You could go to a city centre restaurant. You could get a bowl of pasta, a glass of wine. It's probably going to cost you somewhere in the region of £40, including tip. If you want a wee coffee with that. Or you go to a nice artisanal cafe somewhere, get a nice big cake, a nice coffee, and it's £11.
And you're still getting the catch up.
Okay, so you've saved £29, so therefore it's free.
So it's actually a huge saving.
It's a huge saving.
Compared to what you could have done.
You could go 3 times for coffee and cake.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
That's 3 different friends you could catch up with.
Yeah, this is making a lot of sense to me. I hope that's helpful to you, Martin. Enjoy your £7.50 pint.
Enjoy your drinks.
So that brings us to the end of the Spiralling podcast, Laura.
Aww.
Thank you so much for sharing your problem, and I think that is genuinely some helpful advice that you gave Martin as well.
I hope so. I think all men could learn to girl math.
I reckon so. Is there anything that you would like to share before we conclude? Obviously, we'll be looking out for the production that you just complete.
Yes, I mean, you'll have to wait till next year.
Okay.
We're into post-production now, but I cannot wait for the world to see this incredible production. We're so excited about it. It was a joy to make, and it's incredibly funny and poignant, and it's all the things. So,
and when you watch it, you can imagine Laura wearing all manner of outfits for every single weather condition.
All the weathers, gloves and shorts, not at the same time, but within the space of days.
And have you got anything that you're working on next? Are you?
Yes, I'm going back to, I do development as well, so that's sort of ticking over in the background, and then I am joining the incredible team at BBC Studios in the autumn for Mrs. Brown's Boys again for Christmas and New Year specials.
Lovely. Well, thank you so much again, and keep spiralling.
Thank you.
I mean, don't keep spiralling.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been very cathartic.
Spiralling was recorded and edited with jingles written by me, Zara Gladman. Artwork was by Tom Dees, who you can follow on Instagram at easypeasylemondeasy. If you enjoyed this and would like to stop me spiralling about my decision to make a podcast, then why not leave me a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify? Thanks for listening.